Hello, my Sagittarius friends. Welcome to your yearly forecast for the year of 2019. I can't believe it's 2019, guys. And I know everybody's saying that. Probably tired of hearing it. We're going to jump in. I'm using a brand new deck I've never used in my videos before. This is the SASURAIBITO Tarot by a local artist. If you like it as much as I love it, I will have info in the description. So you can see how you can get your hands on this, because this is a small little independent deck. For those of you who want a private personal reading for your 2019 coming up ahead, I am having a special. Details in the description, and I will talk about that at the end of the video. Alright, so let's jump right on in here, Sagittarius. I'm going to pull the first 6 months and start reading, and then I'll pull the second 6 months. So January for Sagittarius, February, March, April, May, June, July. Alright, so we're going to do your January. You have the Hierophant, Sagittarius. Hierophant is a card about truth. It's about structure. It's about order. It could also be about revisiting your belief system, Sagittarius. I feel for a lot of you, I don't know, this is just coming in intuitively. It's not specifically a message that I attached to this card specifically, but I'm feeling intuitively like what Spirit is wanting to say here for you, Sagittarius, with this card is that some of you have been having a hard time coming to terms with the way your life is. Like maybe you've made decisions or you've done things that you think, man, like the younger me or the me in my childhood would never dream I would have done that. And so maybe you're seeing that a lot about life is not so black and white, and maybe you've been skating in a lot of gray areas. And so some of you are revisiting your belief system. Some of you are full on going back to like some religious belief from your childhood. Maybe some of you are wanting to connect more with like the church or the temple or religious branch that you were raised with. Some of you are just wanting more structure, more stability. Some of you are longing for just the old school ethics, just the old school way things used to be. Some of you are just wanting to simplify life, and you're wanting a little bit more wholesomeness, Sagittarius. I'm not trying to say you all have been out there being ratchet. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that some of you are just finding that there are people or things in your life that you don't like, that you're not feeling, and you're wanting to go back or to connect with something simpler, or things that feel to you a little bit more pure. Okay, so this might be how you're starting off your January. Please keep in mind this is a major arcana card. So there's something happening in your life right now, which is a pretty big shift, and it has to do with your life purpose and your life path. Some of you are full on wanting to go to be in a religious service in some way. Like I think some of you are thinking about like being a religious figure, and so maybe some of you are kind of struggling between like watching these kinds of videos and tarot cards and psychics and crystals, but like having a traditional belief, and how do these two things reconcile? Well, in my opinion, they do, but that's for you to figure out if you believe that or not. And if you don't believe that, that's cool, that's fine, you know. I'm not going to push my beliefs on anybody. So, you know, a lot of you are doing some soul searching here in the early part of the year. Coming into February, Sagittarius, you have Four of Pentacles. This could be needing space, needing time, maybe even being a little bit protective of your physical space. This could be really clinging to your money. Some people call this like somebody who's being a cheapskate or somebody who's being stingy. So maybe you're feeling others have been that way with you. Maybe you feel like somebody is shutting you out or freezing you out. Maybe you're shutting someone or freezing them out. But it could just be that you're a little bit worried about your finances. The thing about Four of Pentacles, it wants you to know that a lot of the fear about the finances is unnecessary. That doesn't mean, you know, Spirit's not telling you to go out there and spend like there's no tomorrow and make every day a treat day. But you need balance, because if we're so afraid and if we're clinging that tightly, we block our financial flow. We block our abundance flow. So just keep this in mind. Ask your angels and guides to help you be a little bit more balanced in the finances department. Coming into March, we have the Sun. This is success on every level, my friends. It's happiness, it's joy, it's positive recognition, it's true love, it's romance, it's playfulness, doing what you love to do. To me, the Sun is a card very much about being on top of the world. It could also be that you're having so much success and so many wonderful things happening that you almost have to disconnect so that you can enjoy it. Maybe you're needing to take a trip or getting away. Maybe you're needing to have some time to yourself to just go out and play and enjoy the blessings that are coming in. Sometimes I have heard this could be inner child work too. Maybe there's something that your inner child is really like needing your attention as you're moving up. I find it very interesting that 1 month you have 4 of Pentacles and then you're jumping into the Sun. And look, it's going from this fear to, wow, this light is almost too bright for me. Look at that. So a lot of you are having to ease into this new energy coming in and things improving and getting better. Your April is King of Pentacles. So it looks, Sagittarius, you all are starting off the year pretty strong in terms of financial opportunities and moving up in career. Again, this is a general reading. Watch your moon sign and rising sign forecasts. For some of you, that's going to add a little bit more layers or make a little bit more sense even. That could be a possibility. So you have your King of Pentacles card here, and to me, King of Pentacles is letting you know that some opportunity that's coming in for you, you're gonna rock it if you accept it. For me, in my experience, King of Pentacles a lot of the times is an opportunity that's coming in that feels a little bit intimidating to you. You feel, wow, this sounds amazing, this sounds great, but I don't know if I'm capable. I don't know if I'm qualified. I don't know if I can pull this off. And so the message here is that if you weren't ready for it, it wouldn't be here. You can totally do this. You can totally rock this. You've got this, okay? So move forward knowing this. Move forward knowing this and just go for it. It's also the golden, like the Midas touch. Like what you touch is turning to gold here. So go with it, guys. Coming into, also some of you may be dealing with an earth sign. For some of you, this could be a person. You might be encouraged to be taking on the attributes of King of Pentacles, which is very confident, very looking at how to like make money work for you, looking for ways of expanding on projects and things like that. You know, so it could be you're being encouraged to take those qualities within yourself. But some of you may be dealing with an earth sign, romantically, or some significant role in your personal life as well. January, February, March, April, coming into May. We have Page of Wands. I love this card simply because for me, Page of Wands, I kind of see it as like what I call a second adolescence. And I just feel like it really captures that energy here in this card. We've got like this young girl with the fiery red hair, and she just seems like really confident and eager, and she's just so ready to get out there and grab the world by the tail and put it in her pocket. And I just feel Page of Wands is very much kind of that very eager, I don't want to say naive, but it's like you're not so terrified about what might go wrong. You're not so terrified about, like a teenager. Teenagers don't know the meaning of danger or risk. And so I'm not telling you all to go out there and be risky and do crazy things. But you're definitely having that youthful zeal, that excitement, like you're ready to love, like you've never been hurt before. You're ready to go out and take a leap of faith, like you've never failed before. Like you're just ready, you're eager about things. So This could be mischievousness. This could be an adventurous spirit. This could be playfulness. And this could be taking on some project that is near and dear to your heart. Something that you're excited about. I am hearing the word activism. So I don't know if there's some cause that some of you have been super passionate about that's really been eating away at you. But maybe as you're becoming more successful, one of your ways to pay back is you're going out and in your free time, you're getting involved in some kind of activism or volunteer work, something to that degree. I'm hearing a performance for other ones of you. Maybe you're getting into the arts. Maybe you're getting on stage. Maybe you're trying to get out there and do some acting. But it's definitely just like this passion project, something that is meaningful for you, and you're going for it. It can be a love affair for some of you, and maybe some of you are getting involved with a younger person. This is a fire sign, and you are a fire sign. Maybe it's just your inner teenager coming out and playing. But it's definitely like positive energy as long as you're, keeping it in check and not going to crazy extremes with it. You should be enjoying yourself. Coming into June, we've got King of Cups. King of Cups could be husband and father to me in my readings. So maybe some of you are preparing to step into a husbandly role, or some of you are, meeting somebody who's going to be your husband, or if you're married, it could be that your marriage mate or your husband is like the focal point at this time or at this stage of the year. There might be a lot going on with your husband. Not necessarily negative, but it could just be where, like, maybe this inner playfulness is being directed at the husband, or maybe there's just this need to not leave them out, like remembering the relationship, making time for the relationship is what I'm trying to say. The thing about King of Cups can be very generous, but he's also very selective about that generosity. Sometimes there's strings attached with King of Cups. But he is a loving person. He may not always show it. He can be very generous, but he can also be a little bit withholding. So it could be maybe trying to find a balance here with this person. For some of you, you might be dealing with a water sign. This could signify a significant water sign soulmate that's coming in, or situation that's happening. Or some of you are being encouraged to take on King of Cups attributes. Maybe some of you are like really, really succeeding. We're talking about the Sun and King of Pentacles and Page of Wands. Like maybe some of you are really high, high on the hog, as they say. In the middle part of 2019. And so maybe King of Cups is saying, look, be a little bit balanced in what you're pouring out there. Maybe you've got like this entourage of people and they see you coming up, and all of a sudden everyone wants to hang out with you and everyone wants to be near you. And maybe you're being a little too generous, Sagittarius. So pay attention to that. That might be what's going on with some of you. Your card for July is Seven of Pentacles. So, yeah. This is a lot of work. This is, to me, Seven of Pentacles is having to take a time out and review the work that you've been putting in compared to what you're getting back, right? So maybe you're finding ways to think smart, to work smarter, not harder. Maybe some of you are finding ways or things that you're wanting to do to branch out. Maybe you've reached a certain level of success in your career, and you're happy with, what has come in, but you're ready for something a little bit more fulfilling or something higher up. Maybe that new car smell is wearing off a little bit quickly. It's not necessarily a bad thing, guys. I mean, sometimes having a certain level of discontentment is good because it helps us to continue progressing. It helps us to continue growing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. But Seven of Pentacles could be needing to rest. It could be that you're putting yourself out there too much and that you're trying to rush things. Maybe you're working so hard wanting things to happen faster when the truth of it is, a seed's not going to grow before its time. Like, no matter how hard you water it, no matter how hard you work the soil, it's not going to grow before its time. And so for some of you, that is the message here with this as well. Be grateful for what you have and try not to get too ambitious to where you're pushing too hard. There might be a balance issue with some of you. Let's pull for the rest of the year. All right. August, September, October, November, December. All right, so for August, we have Queen of Wands, and this is independence. This is success. Queen of Wands, again, Sagittarius, you all are fire, so maybe a lot of you are really in that fire energy in this year because we've got the sun, right? And I'm not saying that the sun is necessarily, God, I don't know all of the astrological associations with the tarot cards. The sun could be associated with fire. I would imagine that it is with like the fire signs. I know for sure the cups are associated with water, and I know wands are fire. But you know, the sun is that hot energy. You've got the wands, page of wands, which is fire. You've got queen of wands, which is fire. So a lot of you might really be in that fiery, ambitious energy. And Queen of Wands to me is, you know, she doesn't have time for pettiness, okay? Like, she's very much the self-made woman. Her success is not because anybody handed it to her. And she worked really hard to have what she has. And the personality traits of the Queen of Wands is very fun-loving, very successful, very sexy, funny even. She has a certain humbleness to her. She remembers where she came from. She remembers her friends. She has very sexy quality to her. Like, people love to be near her. And she has worked hard for everything that she has. But to me, in my readings and the way that I see her come up, a lot of the times, it's out of frustration. Right? So a lot of you maybe are having success, but you're also having success because you're finally coming into a healthy type of entitlement where you're like, I deserve this. There's no reason why I can't have this. There's no reason why other people can be successful or have their dreams come true and I can't, right? So it could be a realization in that way that you deserve just as much as the next person, and that you're qualified. Sometimes I see Queen of Wands as even a self-employment card, even though Queen of Wands isn't typically associated with self-employment, because I sometimes feel it's like she's going her own way, like she's done so much to make other people wealthy or to make other people money. She's done so much for other people, and she's waking up and opening her eyes and saying, why can't I do this for myself? I can be a workhorse for me. Like, why can't I have the benefits, right? Like, why can't I do this on my own? So some of you might be taking some kind of self-employment leap of faith. Some of you may be having a significant soulmate who's coming in who is a fire sign. Queen of Wands could also sometimes signify a third-party situation. So maybe there's a third-party situation coming into a relationship, or you're being tempted by a third party, or you're being tempted to get pulled into a relationship where you're the third party. And so it's sticky. It could be a sticky thing. There's lots of very positive ways that this can apply, and there's also some ways that don't feel so fun. And it's hard to tell on a reading like this which one it is, because so many different people watch the videos, and I try to cover all the different scenarios because it's going to be different for different ones of you. It would be ridiculous to expect that every single Sagittarius is in the whole world is going to experience this card in the same exact way. This is a type of energy, and it's going to affect us in different ways, right? It's an energy that's coming in, but we're not all going to feel it or experiencing it in the same exact way. So that's some different ways that this could maybe apply. Coming into September, we have 9 of Cups. This is emotional fulfillment. Sagittarius, I feel some of you maybe are wanting to step away from a relationship. Maybe you're wanting to take a time out. Because, or maybe not taking a time out. Maybe that's why King of Cups came up for some of you. and Queen of Wands came up. Like maybe you're wanting a little bit more independence or time to go out and have fun or time to play. Because Nine of Cups is emotional fulfillment, but it's also kind of having it to yourself. To the extent where some people would even say sometimes they might look at you and think you're being greedy or you're keeping all of the joy to yourself. Especially those of you who are learning to tighten your purse strings a little bit. You're noticing people are like reaching into the pockets a little too much, and maybe you're putting an end to that. So people might see you as you're doing really well, but you're keeping to yourself or you're pulling away. Doesn't matter to you because you're happy. When Nine of Cups comes up for you, you're happy. You're doing good. You're fulfilled. Like you're fulfilled. But it could be where you're in a balanced and healthier way, keeping some of this to yourself, because look, Queen of Wands, she got to where she is by herself. Nobody gave it to her. Nobody handed it to her. So it kind of only makes sense that you're selective who you share that with, right? It makes sense to be selective and to be sharing at the appropriate time with the appropriate situation, the appropriate scenario. We did September. This is October. 8 of Wands. Things could be moving in very quickly. Whatever passion projects you've been focusing on or career goals. We talked about 7 of Pentacles and maybe things feeling slow and those seeds aren't growing super fast. All of a sudden in October, boom, movement. Things are moving ahead. Whatever was stuck, it ain't stuck no more. This could also be news that you're receiving. Maybe some of you, there's a significant soulmate that you've been waiting to hear back from, and it could be happening for you in the month of October or around October, where you're receiving some news. For other ones of you, it's not so much having to do with your love life. It's having to do more with like just other things you've been waiting to hear from. Maybe scholarships, maybe job opportunities, maybe news from family overseas. A conversation that you've been wanting to have a really long time with family, or something you've been wanting to clear up, or even for some of you, I feel like you've been wanting the truth about a situation. Some conversation that you've been wanting to have is happening in October for many of you, or many of you are receiving some good news. Some of you have a relationship, or you've had somebody who has been on the, I don't want to say on the fence, but maybe like you've been like, this person is so into me, but they're not making a move. Like maybe you sense somebody's been attracted to you, or you sense somebody is like talking to you and like you're waiting for them to take the next move or to ask you out, and they're not doing it. They might have stuff happening in their life, but then finally in October of 2019, you might be very surprised. This person may approach you and be like, hey, Sagittarius, so you want to go out sometime? You want to grab coffee? You might be like, oh, wow, like I completely forgot about this person. So for some of you, it could be somebody from the past who wasn't ready for you before, and they're maybe reappearing and they're starting to want to see and move forward with you. Your November is Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords could be a truth about a situation being revealed, or it could be being overly blunt. It could be being opinionated. It could be somebody that you feel is being controlling. Knight of Swords is very fast-moving energy. Like Knight of Swords feels like he knows what is best in a situation, or, you know, Knight of Swords feels like they know what's best in the situation, and they're going to have opinions, and they're going to tell you how to do things, or what you should be doing, or what you shouldn't be doing, you know. And so for some of you, you might be Knight of Swords. For some of you, you might be dealing with a Knight of Swords. Some of you, you may have a air sign who's coming in with a lot of opinions about your life. And you might be like, hey, look, relax. The thing that's really jumping out at me right now about this card is this butterfly being sliced in half. And for me, butterfly is transformation. I also just heard in my head out of nowhere creativity, although creativity is not necessarily something that I attribute with butterflies, but I'm just clairaudiently hearing it. So I feel like what's happening is maybe somebody is coming in and raining on your parade a little bit. Like they think you have your head in the clouds. Like, oh, you're lucky now. Things are going well for you now, but it's going to dry up. It's not going to last. Or you're changing and I don't like this new you. So it could be somebody stepping in with some pretty strong opinions and they're like, you know, trying to chop this transformation that you're going through. They're trying to cut through it or put an end to it in some way, or put an end with your creativity in some way, which is unfortunate, right? It's not fun. It's not very nice. But understand that this Knight of Swords, whoever they may be, they genuinely believe this, not because they don't believe in you, but because that's the way they think the world works, and they're trying to protect you from the world. So remind yourself of this, and it might save you some heartache. It might save you some big disagreements. Understand that this person has very limited beliefs on what is possible in life, and they care about you enough to try to help you. And so maybe what you can say is, thank you so much for loving me enough to want to protect me. Thank you so much for caring about me enough to like come in and give me some advice. And I totally think that you're a smart person. I totally think you know what you're talking about. Like, I know that you know what you're talking about, but I just feel in my heart this is what I need to be doing right now. I feel in my heart this is the right path for me. And if it doesn't work out, you know, I know that you tried to warn me. I know that you tried to help me, and I thank you for that. But for right now, I just really can't explain why. I just feel I really need to do this. And the fact that I'm going against what you're saying is no disrespect to you in any way. It doesn't mean that I don't think you know what you're talking about. I just feel very compelled and very called to do this. And, you know, sometimes that helps. Sometimes that helps. So, you know, just keep in mind this person cares about you. Coming into December, we have the Magician. This is one of my favorite cards. It makes me think of like a young Robert Smith from The Cure when I see it. And some of you have no idea who that is, but I'm a pretty big Cure fan. And I just see like the young, you know, Robert Smith when I look at this card. But the Magician card itself, and Robert Smith is pretty magical, but the Magician card itself has to do with manifestation. It's usually, in my experience, a lot of the times it comes up for somebody who's really finally deciding to live life as themselves, and like you're going towards what your intuition is calling you to do. You're going towards what maybe you feel is a life purpose or a life calling, something that's satisfying your soul. And it's the fairly new stage of this journey. And so you might be optimistic, but you also may not have everything that you need to meet the goals or to get to the finish line. And the Magician is letting you know you have enough to get started, and what you don't have, you're going to be able to manifest. You know, in terms of resources, like the right people, the right things are gonna, you know, just kind of manifest along your path. It's very much about manifesting energy. So it's important that at this time you stay focused on what you do want. Stay focused on what you do want, because you're creating, you're manifesting at a very fast rate when you're in that Magician energy. Be sure, like I said, to check out your moon sign and rising sign, because that might add more information for some of you. What I was thinking of doing for the New Year's package, typically I do it for my clients, and I have some clients that actually book with me every year, and they do this every year. And so they let me know what they're trying to manifest or what they're trying to let go of in the new year, and I help them with a little custom affirmation and some homework to help make it happen. And then, of course, a 12-month reading for what's coming up in the 12 months. And typically for that package, I charge $150, and I know that not a lot of people can afford that, especially now that I'm opening up to social media and there's people in different parts of the world, and not everybody's in LA, and I get it. So I was thinking $40. That's like way more than half off, and I think a lot of people, like, that is a lot more reasonable, and I would rather that people have the help. It's not necessarily about like charging a certain dollar amount. So I wanted to put that out there for those of you who want to do this. go ahead and email me. My information is in the description, and we can set up a private reading. It might take me a couple of days to respond, guys. I have some caregiving that I have to do in my personal life. I'm a caretaker, which I don't get paid for. And there's just a lot of stuff that's happening. So I have a lot of other clients, a lot of other reading requests. So please be patient with me. And if you message me in my email, don't go and message me on Instagram, and then don't go message me on Facebook, because it slows down the process for everybody. I check all of those outlets, and maybe you're more comfortable communicating through one outlet more than others, but please don't message me on all of them, because it slows down the process and it becomes a little overwhelming. I may take a few days. Sometimes I try to get back in the same day, but if I don't, understand and know that I will get to you, and I'm going to do my best to give everybody the best possible reading that I can. And so for that reason, I'm not going to rush through. All right, it might take a couple of days, but I'm going to give you the best energy that I can give you. So I hope this helps, my friends. Reach out to me. Let me know if you want the private reading. I will have the description in the video for this beautiful deck. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to keep doing the weekly forecasts. This channel is new. I haven't been making videos for very long, but you guys seem to like the weekly forecasts. I like doing them. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing. Thank you for being part of my journey, and thank you for letting me be part of yours. Happy New Year, Sagittarius.